Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my TBR for the hashtag Bookish September readathon, read-along thing that a couple of YouTubers are putting on for the entire month. I found out about this readathon through Elisabeth page. I will link her channel below and her video explaining all about the readathon. It's hashtag Bookish September, and it's just throughout the entire month of September. So basically it's just supposed to encourage us to read more throughout the month of September because school has started, and so people's lives have started getting busier, and it's just supposed to encourage everyone to keep reading throughout the month of September. I am currently not going to school, and things are going to be getting pretty busy for me as far as trying to find a job and stuff, but I wanted to participate anyway because recently some things have been going on in my personal life that have made the amount of reading I'm doing kind of shrink a little bit because I just have not really had the desire to. So I just was hoping that this would keep me motivated to keep reading and all that stuff. So instead of doing a TBR for September, I am just going to kind of carry over the books that I didn't finish last month because I still really have an interest in reading them, plus a few books that I have added just that I am also interested in reading this month. But I just figured instead of doing a big September TBR where you guys pretty much hear a lot of the same books as last month, I'm just going to do my TBR for Bookish September. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. I'm just going to go through the 7 challenges that are part of the readathon and tell you what book I'm going to be reading to satisfy that challenge. The first one is to reread a favorite, and I'm actually going to do this one last because I'm the most excited about it. But anyway, the second one is read a recently purchased book, and for this I am choosing Calmly, Carefully, and Completely by Tammy Faulkner. This is the 3rd book in the Read Brothers series, and I recently purchased this kind of in just a big Kindle book haul. It is Paul's story, and Paul is one of the younger brothers, and so Paul's story really picks up in the 2nd book and kind of sets you up for this book, so I'm really excited to see what's in store for Paul and his love interest in this book. The 3rd challenge is to read a book from your favorite genre, and currently my favorite genre is new adult contemporary romance, so I chose Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I really wanted to get to this one last month, and I probably could have, but after the kind of crap personal life stuff, I didn't want to read this and then end up not liking it because I was in a mood, so I just decided to wait until I was feeling a little bit better and then read it. But I still really do want to, and I'm still really excited about this, and I think I really want to read this one now, so I'm adding this to the list because I still am really excited about this one. All I really know about this book is that it has to do with music, and it follows a girl who was cheated on by her boyfriend with her best friend and all that really crazy dramatic stuff, so I'm really excited about this one. I've heard that this is a lot of people's favorite Colleen Hoover book, so I'm really excited. The 4th challenge is to read a book with a beautiful cover, so I am choosing another book that I was really adamant about reading last month but didn't end up getting to it. Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. I know, I can't believe I didn't read this last month. I said that this was my first priority, but then I was just too engulfed in my new adult books that I just decided to wait on this one, and I'm ready to read it now. The cover is beautiful except for this stupid freaking sticker that is right over the dress, but anyway, I'm really excited to finish this trilogy and read this book, even though it's quite large for me, but I'm really excited anyway. The 5th challenge is to read a book that you know nothing about. So I had kind of been going through books that I wanted to read recently, and I realized that there's not really a lot of my books that I don't know anything about except for this one, which is Wait For You by Jaylyn or Jennifer L. Armentrout. The only thing I know about this book is that this guy in the book bakes for the girl, which is sweet. So I'm gonna count that as not knowing anything about the book, and I still don't know anything about the book, so I can't tell you anything about the book. But I'm gonna read this one. Challenge 6 is to read a book with a darker theme, and I was really surprised that I felt the urge to read this book because I have not really been feeling young adult a lot since I started reading new adult, but all of a sudden I was thinking about any books that I wanted to add to my TBR for the month, and this one just popped into my head, and I was like, you know, I really want to finish that series. So I chose Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. This is the 2nd book in the Darkest Minds trilogy, and I really want to finish this trilogy. I've heard that a lot of people who love the Darkest Minds didn't really like this book as much because the cast of characters is quite different, but I'm still really intrigued, and I really want to see what happens with Ruby and Liam and everybody, and I just miss the characters, and it just hit me that I really wanted to read this book this month. I'd really like to finish the trilogy this month if I don't get too busy. So I have this one on the list to motivate me to give a priority to this book, and then hopefully I can get to the 3rd book after this. Also, I just remember after finishing The Darkest Minds, I was in this really dark book hangover slump, and so the end of the 1st book is really sad. So I figured this would be perfect for a book with a darker theme because, you know, post-apocalyptic thing, sort of. But I really enjoy The Darkest Minds, so if you haven't yet read it, would highly recommend that you do. The last challenge is to just read a book that you want to read. So for this, I chose The Friend Zone by Kristen Callahan. This is the second book in the Game On trilogy series thing. I read the first book last month and I loved it, but I can't talk about it because it caused me a lot of anxiety. But this is the second book and it follows the best friend of the guy from the first book. It follows Greg Grayson, and we love Greg Grayson, and I've actually already read this book. I finished it last night. So I'm already getting a good start on this readathon, and yeah, you'll be hearing about it in probably a review, but definitely a wrap-up. But I chose this one and just follows the man-slut that is Greg Grayson. Yeah. So the last book that I have here is going back to the first challenge, which is to reread a favorite. And now I was not originally going to do this challenge because when I have such a large list of things that I would like to read for the next coming time period, then I don't like to reread books because then I don't have time for the ones that I haven't read yet. I like to reread books when I am kind of like in a slump, or I just need to pick me up, or I'm just really feeling it. That's when I like to reread books. So I wasn't originally going to do this challenge, but then it hit me what book I could use for this, and I was really excited about it, and now it's the one I'm most excited about. So I decided to reread A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. This was actually a summer reading book for me for, I think, right before 9th grade, I think. I can't actually remember, but I was either like freshly in high school or I was not in high school yet, but it was a summer required reading book for me along with several others. And at that point my reading level was really, really low, and I was not understanding a lot of required reading, and including this book, and I remember really enjoying this book from what I understood, but there were still parts of it that I just couldn't follow because the wording was beyond my reading level. And it is an adult book, even though it follows the lives of children, I think, or young people anyway. But from what I did understand, I remember really enjoying this book, but I really can't, for the life of me, can't even really remember a lot of what it's about. I read the back and I recognize some of the character names, but for the most part, I just remember really enjoying it, but not understanding half of it. So I just figured, you know, it's been about over 8 years, I think, so I am older. And even though my reading level is still that of probably a 5th grader, I'm assuming that I'm probably a little bit smarter than I was 8 years ago, so I'm hoping that I can follow this book a little bit easier than when I was, you know, 13 or 14 years old, however old you are when you're starting high school, maybe 14? I don't know. But I'm just really excited to reread this one and see if maybe I get a different message out of it this time, and really to see if I understand any more of it, and I'm really excited to see how I like it the second time around. I can't give you a plot because I honestly don't remember. So those are all 7 books that I'm attempting for the Bookish September readathon. As I said, I will link Elisabeth's channel in the description, as well as her video where she explains everything. There are several other booktubers that are part of this readathon, but I don't know who they are because I only follow Elisabeth. But if you are interested, I definitely recommend that you check out her video and join. It should be pretty fun and a good way to keep us all a little bit more focused this month. Hopefully I'm able to get through more than just 7 of these books, but I'm not like 100% planning that I will get a ton done this month. Also, I will probably stray from this list because there's already a book that I want to read next that is not on this list. So this is just kind of my for fun thing. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you check out her video and join in as well. I will see you all very soon with another video. Bye everyone.
Now I hit my hand on a hardcover book.